there. Do you see that? Do you see that? Beautiful Golden Gate Bridge at sunrise. In today's video, we're taking you through the top attractions you must see when visiting. So come along. We woke up bright and early. We're heading to Battery Spencer. We're trying to get the sunrise over the Golden Gate Bridge. Oh my gosh, we are here. I am crossing the Golden Gate Bridge for the first time. I have seen pictures of this bridge my entire life, but being here in this moment feels incredibly special. The Golden Gate Bridge was completed in 1937, and it stretches nearly 2 miles across the entrance of the San Francisco Bay. It's become, obviously, one of the most recognizable landmarks in the world. From what we read, Battery Spencer has a small parking area, so we're hoping arriving this early we'll be able to find a parking spot. However, we're quickly finding out the roads getting there are dark, narrow, and pretty windy. Oh, hey buddy. Be safe.
In 0.2 miles, you'll arrive at Battery Spencer.
It's 5:42. The sun is coming up. We saw a coyote and we saw a deer. So if you're coming up this way this early in the morning, please be careful. You do not want to hit animals. I think it's going to be windy, but we're going to do it. We came this early. We're going to complete the mission. Okay, here we go. The second we stepped out of the car, we were hit with some serious wind. But as we started walking towards the overlook, I could already tell this was 1,000% worth the early wake up. Okay, Battery Spencer did not disappoint. This is absolutely beautiful. The sun coming up is amazing. The city looks so peaceful and gorgeous, and this bridge is just magnificent. So a great spot to see the sunrise or the sunset. So looking at this, you might think you're in Rome, but you're not. It's the Palace of Fine Arts. The Palace of Fine Arts was originally built for the 1915 Panama Pacific International Exposition, celebrating San Francisco's recovery after the devastating 1906 earthquake. While most of the fair was temporary, people loved this building so much that it was rebuilt and preserved. We're here on a Saturday, so there's tons of people getting their pictures taken for graduation, quinceañeras, and weddings too. It is really pretty. I wasn't expecting it to be so big, but it is huge. While it's one of the city's most photographed landmarks, it's also a favorite spot for locals to walk, picnic, and simply enjoy a quiet morning. From the Palace of the Fine Arts, we're going to explore more of the Presidio area. The Presidio is a former military post that's now one of San Francisco's largest parks, with incredible views, walking trails, historic sites, and plenty of places to explore. It's huge. So we're obviously not going to see everything, but we're going to hit a few of the main spots. I love how everybody over here is just like hanging out on the grass. There's like food trucks. It's such a beautiful day, even though it's like super sunny. That breeze, it's just cool and refreshing. Now we're gonna walk over to the Walt Disney Museum. Who knew there was a Walt Disney Museum here? I didn't. The Walt Disney Family Museum is dedicated to the life of Walt Disney and features everything from original artwork and animation to stories about how some of his most iconic films came to life. Fun fact, Walt Disney's daughter, Diane Disney Miller, founded the museum to share her father's life story, not just his work, but the person behind the magic. Okay, so they're closing soon, so we didn't want to rush through the museum. Tickets for adults are $30, but it's definitely something looks awesome to check out when visiting San Fran. Just around the corner is the Presidio Visitor Center. It's a great place to learn about the area's history and pick up some maps before exploring the park, which is exactly what we needed when heading to Crissy Field. So this is Crissy Field. It used to be a military airfield, but now it's one of the best spots to check out the Golden Gate Bridge. So let's go. Crissy Field is much bigger than it looks on a map. If you're planning to explore on foot, be prepared for a lot of walking. That's one of the reasons why it's so popular with locals. You'll see people running and biking, walking their dogs. It's a massive green space that takes you to the biggest payoff. Last but certainly not least of our Presidio highlights is Fort Point. Built in the 1850s to protect the entrance to the San Francisco Bay, Fort Point has become one of the city's most fascinating historic landmarks. When the Golden Gate Bridge was built decades later, engineers actually redesigned part of the bridge so the fort could be preserved. Today, it's one of the best places to stand directly beneath the bridge and appreciate how enormous it really is. If you're wondering why I look like a burglar, it's because we're headed to Alcatraz. After spending the morning exploring the Presidio, it was finally time for one of San Francisco's most iconic attractions, Alcatraz. All right, we're on the ferry. Going to Alcatraz. Obviously, the only way to get to Alcatraz is by a ferry. The ferry takes about 15 minutes, and as you get closer, you start to understand why the island was chosen for a prison. Surrounded by freezing water and strong currents, escape was almost impossible. Definitely got to do the cheesy line. Welcome to the Rock.
Welcome to the Rock.
What can I say? Sean Connery obviously says it better. Alcatraz wasn't always a prison. It was first established as a military fort before becoming one of America's most infamous federal penitentiaries. From 1934 to 1963, it housed some of the country's most dangerous criminals. The prison eventually closed, not because of escapes, but because it was simply too expensive to operate. So there's no guided tour. They just left us off on the island. Just we could get into so much trouble. Look at this beautiful seagull though. My goodness. Okay. Walking through the cellhouse is surreal. These halls once held some of America's most notorious criminals. Most prisoners lived in cells just 5 feet by 9 feet. That's barely enough room for a bed, a small sink, a toilet, and not much else. I mean, this is so tiny. One of the most famous stories in Alcatraz history happened right here. In 1962, inmates Frank Morris and brothers John and Clarence England spent months secretly digging through the walls of their cells using homemade tools. They climbed through these openings, made their way to the roof, and escaped the island on a handmade raft built from stolen raincoats. To this day, no one knows for certain whether they survived. Some of the harshest punishments at Alcatraz happened here on the D block. These isolation cells had both barred doors and heavy steel doors that could be closed, leaving inmates in a much darker, more isolated environment. It was one of the most haunting parts of the prison to walk through. It's so dark. Yeah. After walking through the cell house, I expected the rest of the island to feel just as cold and intimidating. But that's not what we found at all. Today, Alcatraz has become an important sanctuary for thousands of seabirds. Every spring and summer, species like cormorants, gulls, and snowy egrets nest here, turning what was once a prison into a wildlife refugee. Volunteers have also restored many of the island's historic gardens, adding an unexpected splash of color to one of America's most infamous landmarks. For a place with such a dark history, Alcatraz has a surprisingly peaceful feeling today. Between the gardens, the birds, and the incredible views of San Francisco, to me, it felt pretty special. Now back on the mainland, we're going to spend a little time exploring the waterfront. A lot of the city's most popular attractions are concentrated along this stretch, so it's really easy to see several of them together. So we just arrived to the ferry building. It's a great spot for food, history, and beautiful views. The ferry building dates back to 1898 and was once the main gateways into San Francisco, with thousands of commuters arriving here by ferry. I smell like cheesy bread. Look how pretty this is. Today, it's still an active ferry terminal, but the building has become one of the city's best food destinations. No fish. We decided to stop at Gott's for an adult beverage, but they're known for their burgers. And those burgers look amazing. They look amazing. Thank you. Cheers! Oh, that hits the spot. So we stopped at Gott's to just get like a beer and a glass of wine, just because we've been walking a lot, so it's just nice to take a break. But the burgers in there looked insane. So definitely would love to try a burger, but I'm just not hungry right now. But amazing. I love this view of the city. So lots of food and history in there, and then I wanted to see the views. So don't just walk through the market and leave, head out back. You'll get some beautiful views of the Bay Bridge and watch the ferries coming and going right from the waterfront. From here, we're continuing along San Francisco's waterfront towards one of the city's most famous areas, Fisherman's Wharf. Fisherman's Wharf is one of San Francisco's most famous waterfront districts. There's a lot to see and do here, with plenty of restaurants and shops. Definitely check out Bodine, home of San Francisco's famous sourdough bread, and of course, you can't miss the historic cable cars. San Francisco's cable cars date back to 1873, and today they're the world's last manually operated cable car system. I'm gonna go see how much tickets are, but oh, they are so cool. A one-way ticket will run you $9. But there's one more thing we came to Fisherman's Wharf to see, the famous sea lions at Pier 39. And we happened to visit at a pretty exciting time because there have been sightings of a very unusual visitor, a massive stellar sea lion nicknamed Chonkers. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see him, but honestly, these guys were entertaining enough.
Okay, so we just arrived to Mission Dolores Park.
Mission Dolores Park is a huge green space right in the heart of the Mission District, known for its incredible views of the San Francisco skyline.
So yeah, all you have to do is climb a little bit and you get some beautiful views here. Wow. Skyline views is right. Look how beautiful that is. It's really pretty. Lots of dogs, lots of people jogging. Beautiful park.
And since we're already here in the Mission District, this is also the perfect excuse to grab one of those massive San Francisco burritos. We stopped at Breakfast Little, where these things are loaded with eggs, crispy tater tots, and all kinds of fillings. Trust me, one of these will keep you fueled for your full day of exploring. And if all this exploring made you hungry, trust me, San Francisco has you covered. We ate our way through the city and found some incredible food along the way. So if you want to know what you should eat while you're here, check out our San Francisco food tour.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I did. San Francisco is absolutely amazing. I am coming back. The people have been so nice. The food is delicious, and there is so much to see and do. So if you haven't already, I invite you to hit that subscribe button because we have more food, more travel, more fun coming your way. We'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.